Listen carefully, because what I'm about to say may unsettle you. You think you are free. You think your choices, your desires, even your fears belong to you. But what if they don't? What if, without realizing it, your mind has been quietly scripted by forces older than you, deeper than you, forces buried in philosophy, religion, biology, and power itself? What if the very things you think you love are nothing more than patterns written centuries ago into the human condition? This is not a comfortable thought, but then again, truth rarely is. Most men spend their lives haunted by an invisible script. They wake up, go to work, chase money, chase women, chase distractions, all while believing they're in control. But deep down, something gnaws at them, a restlessness, a confusion, an unshakable sense that their lives are not their own. And they're right. Because the truth is, your desires, your fears, your habits are not random. They are the result of ancient forces that philosophers have been whispering about for centuries. Schopenhauer once said, "Man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills." Think about that. You can choose your actions, but not the desires that drive them. And if you don't own your desires, who really owns you? Let's dig deeper. Plato, thousands of years ago, spoke of the human soul as a chariot. Two horses pulling in opposite directions, one noble and rational, the other wild and lustful. And the driver, our so-called reason, is left struggling to control them. Most men never learn to drive. They let the wild horse drag them into chaos, into obsession, into addiction. And isn't that what we see today? The endless pursuit of pleasure, status, validation, chasing shadows, while life quietly slips away. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Much of what you call love or attraction is not yours. It's a biological program written to ensure survival. Nietzsche warned of this when he said, "We are unknown to ourselves, we men of knowledge." We think we're rational, but in reality, instincts pull our strings like puppets. You may think you chose her because she's special, but your brain silently was calculating fertility, youth, symmetry, ancient codes designed for reproduction. She may think you chose him for his personality, but her unconscious was scanning for strength, dominance, security, archetypes older than civilization itself. This doesn't mean love is fake. It means love is complicated, more biological machinery than fairy tales. And once you see this, you can unsee it. Let's step into history for a moment. Machiavelli, often reduced to the word manipulation, was far more insightful than most realize. He understood that human beings, men and women alike, are not guided by virtue alone. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Why? Because fear is reliable. Love, on the other hand, is mercurial, fleeting, conditional. Think about your own life. How many friendships faded once the convenience was gone? How many unconditional loves revealed conditions the moment you stopped playing your role? Harsh truth, most relationships are transactions in disguise, and history knew this long before psychology gave it names. Now let's bring in Jung. Carl Jung believed in the shadow, the dark side of human nature we try to bury. But here's the paradox. What we bury controls us most. He wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Look closely at your own shadow, the parts of yourself you deny, the lust you shame, the anger you repress, the fears you refuse to name. That shadow doesn't vanish, it leaks. It leaks into your choices, your obsessions, your mistakes. The men who deny their shadow are the men most enslaved by it. Let me tell you a story. A young soldier, captured in a camp, starved and beaten, expected loyalty from his comrades. Yet when survival was at stake, friendships crumbled, promises were broken, the ugliest sides of humanity surfaced. And when the camp was liberated, he realized something terrifying. Loyalty, morality, even love were luxuries of safety.
Strip away the comfort and people reveal their most primal code. Solzhenitsyn wrote about this after the Gulag. He learned the truth that many men never face. The line between good and evil is not between nations or between genders. It runs through the heart of every single human being, including yours. But here's the twist. It would be easy to hear all of this and become bitter, to say then love is a lie, trust is impossible, desire is meaningless. That's the coward's conclusion. The point is not despair, it's awakening. Because once you see the hidden code, you gain a choice you didn't have before. You can live blindly, driven by unconscious instincts like billions of others, or you can step back, recognize the machinery, and decide when to follow it and when to rebel. That is true freedom.
Let's return to Schopenhauer for a moment. He saw life as suffering, driven by a blind will to live that uses us like tools. Sounds bleak, doesn't it? But there's a strange liberation in knowing this. If suffering is inevitable, if desire is endless, then chasing happiness is a trap. The wiser path? Meaning, strength, creation, living not to be consumed by the will, but to stand against it with dignity. Nietzsche sharpened this idea with his concept of amor fati, the love of fate. Don't run from suffering. Don't deny the chaos. Love it. Embrace it as necessary fuel. Because the man who embraces his suffering cannot be broken by it. And you, watching this right now, need to hear this. Your restlessness, your dissatisfaction, your endless chasing, none of it will end until you confront the truth. That your mind is not fully yours. That your love, your fears, even your goals are written by ancient scripts. But once you see that, once you stare into the uncomfortable mirror, you can begin to write your own. You can choose meaning over distraction, strength over weakness, reality over illusion. So let me leave you with this thought. Every day, you are faced with two choices: to live as a slave to forces you cannot see, or to confront them, wrestle with them, and rise above them. History is not just stories of dead philosophers. It is a mirror, showing you who you truly are. And if you dare to look deeply, you may find that the hidden code controlling your life can be rewritten, but only by you. The question is, will you do it? Because most men never will, and that is the dark truth.